Yeah, I was just over there. I just got through seeing a video that Steve had done, and I agree with him when it comes to money. You're not going to buy, you cannot get happiness through chasing money. You're just going to stress yourself out trying to get ahead. And unfortunately, money is just like power, it absolutely corrupts. Because once a person gets enough money, they're not going to find happiness with it, and they're going to start looking down on other people. And they don't even realize they're headed into a system of a cashless society. I know people think it ain't going to happen over here, but it will. I done a video on this, our live stream yesterday on this topic, and it will happen. It doesn't matter what you think, it's coming this way. It's just a matter of time. It's already been implemented. They're already doing it in pockets across the seas, and it's only a matter of time before you see it striking you right here at home in your own country. And it's going to lead to tyranny. It's going to lead to more depression for a lot of people. So chasing money isn't the answer. But let me give me another idea for a topic. Okay, was the fact that do men have a right to be angry? I think that men do have a justified right to be angry. And there's a lot of men out here that are being denied a life and pushed out thanks to social engineering and people's ability to look at somebody else and in 1 to 5 seconds judge them, and there's a lot of labeling, name calling, creating categories, and we're all sitting there labeling another human being and placing human beings in a category that you don't have a right to do. And then you have the control freaks. I mean, there's just so many issues going on right now. And in the manosphere, there's a lot of justified reason to be angry. The problem I see with the anger, is so many people are steering their anger the wrong direction. They're allowing the anger to control them, destroy them. No lie. The anger takes over, and then you do things you wouldn't do otherwise. You do it out of anger and emotion. You don't think. Generally, in common, when people get angry, this is not their best time for thinking skills. It's like being in a fight. If you get into a fight and your anger takes over, you most likely get your butt handed to you because you won't be thinking clearly because the anger and emotions took over. And this is the other problem with anger, plus it adds stress to you, which can bring on health problems. So finding a way out of that anger is the real solution, okay? Finding a way to make your household happy from within. And one of them ways is to not care what other people think about you. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to do. A lot of guys out here actually care about what other people think of them. And they care about that so deep that they want to fit in so bad that it really messes up their life. They can't even be who they are because they're trying to be somebody they're not. It's sort of like game, okay? It becomes a challenge, a competition, a sport, an arena. And you're trying to fit in with a clique of people that ain't using their brains at all, and when you get up here you got anger. Men have a lot of justified reasons for being angry. They really do. We're in an over sexualized society where you grow up as a child, and nowadays even more prevalent, sex is free, it's all over the internet. And because it's so free and all over the internet, even children are able to get into porn and see porn. You think, well, children don't. Yes, children do. Why wouldn't they not? It's easy to be found, isn't it? And it's free. It's not even covered up. So you're in this overless sexualized society where nobody knows what they're doing. And I'm serious. When it comes to the dating arena of people getting into relationships, the majority of people do not even know what they're doing. Oh, they'll tell you they know what they're doing, and oh, they convince themselves that they know what they're doing, but they don't. They think they do, that's all. That's why we see the destruction we're seeing is because people don't know what they're doing. Their behaviors have been socially engineered. They've fallen for all the garbage and the lies. And it actually becomes sickening watching it. This is the reason I criticize Help by the Dashboard Light. It's not because he hasn't said some really fantastic stuff, hasn't done some good podcast or videos when he was driving around. Not that he hasn't said some truthful things. It's the fact that his anger is misplaced. He has a justified reason for being angry, but it's misplaced. It really is. And because it's misplaced, he blames somebody else for having a female in their life that somehow he has physically looked at this person he don't even know, and he has judged this guy and put them in a category and put himself above them and is angry with them for having what he wants and can't even see the delusion of that type of thinking, how corrupted that is. First off, he's not better than anybody. He's a human being like the rest of us. Second off, categories need to disappear because it only leads to people believing there's something they're not. That's all it does. It leads to corruption. It just helps your behavior problems become more screwed up. Okay, that's all it does. This is why I don't like labeling other human beings when you talk about, you hear it all the time, women calling guys losers. Okay, and you hear this all the time. That's labeling. They judged you without even knowing you and called you a loser. Yet, meanwhile, well, they're the biggest loser there is. Because when they call somebody a loser, that actually makes them the loser. Because you have just judged somebody without even really knowing them. And start making statements about other people's faults when you have faults of your own. And people are notorious for this. They love to sit back and pick out somebody else's faults like as if they have none of their own. And I've seen this so many times. You pick out somebody else's fault and you ridicule them for it. But in your own life, you've done the very same thing that you're ridiculing them for. And you won't even give that a second thought somehow that you've placed yourself in a position to say, it's all right for me to do that, just not them, and I'm going to criticize them, but I'll do it behind the scenes. It's called being a hypocrite. It's called being a dumbass. Excuse my language, but that's really what that is. And I could go on with examples of this. I think you all know this. But anger's really what's been holding us all back. Anger can be a positive thing if it's used in the right manner. So we have the problem in the dating arena because of corruption, because of power, because of money. That's right, money and power that corrupted the human mind. Why do you think you got an elite group of people? They're ruling everybody because they're corrupt. They're psychopaths. This is what happens when you absolutely have all the money you ever needed and all the power over everybody else. And the real sad thing is everybody wants to be somebody else's boss. And I see this happening all the time. Somebody else always wants to be somebody else's boss, but don't want to be told what to do themselves, but want to go ahead and tell somebody else what to do. Hypocrites, control freaks. And you see this all the time, and it's not a gender issue, it's from both genders. But if I say the men have a right to be angry, you damn right they do, because the men are ones that overall being dumped on and squatted on. We are the primary victims in society. Now, all of us are victims, including the women. But we are the primary victims. And, these people want to ignore the fact that you have the male shaming on television set, okay? That angers a lot of men. Then we have men throwing men under the bus for their own opportunity in the dating scene, angers other men. Okay, so in reality, do men have a right to be angry? Yes, they do. But they need to control their anger. Because first off, when you're willing to throw another man under the bus, for your own selfish gain, and then you'd wonder why there's such problems with men standing together or working together. Well, this is a good example. Because you're throwing other people under the bus when you don't want to be thrown under the bus yourself. You're willing to do onto somebody else that you don't want done onto your own self. And this is one of the cruxes of our biggest problem in society, and it's not a gender issue. Because I have watched both genders do this continuously. Okay, it's all about selfishness. It's all about me, 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 me. And it's all about no care. It's not willing to back up and think about what's right and wrong and practice doing unto somebody else that you want done unto yourself. The majority of people don't want to take responsibility for that. So they would just go on doing what they're doing, regardless of how corrupt it is. And I do believe men have a really justified reason for being angry. But their anger is actually making their downfall because they're not using thinking skills whatsoever. They're using emotions and anger to act out of, rather than using their brain and backing up and thinking. I'm not saying it's wrong to be angry when men do have a justified reason for being angry. If women had to live the life that men go through in today's society, when they think they're so abused, change shoes, change places for a year or two, and most women will come out the other side angry as hell and with a big eye opener going, oh my God, I didn't realize it was that bad. And when you really back up and examine it, you find out that it's because of our behaviors. It's not that women are not victims in society, because they are. The problem is we're all victims, and we have a primary victim and a secondary victim status going on thanks to the powers to be, with men being the primary victim and women being placed up as the primary when they're actually the secondary. It's like the phony baloney rape culture. We all know that rape is not condoned. Okay, we all know this already, but yet suddenly there's this invisible rape culture, okay? I mean, just the mayhem of this all is out of control. And then, of course, MGTOW. That's another big phony baloney corruption BS thing that's going on online. And you want people to believe that all these men are walking their own or going their own way, when you got all these idiots that felt the mainstream media's flipping the definition. And these idiots have flipped the definition their own selves to their own want. So you've taken something that was truthfully would have probably made a difference only if enough men would come aboard with it. And you have flipped the definition to your own want. So no, MGTOW is fraudulent. MGTOW is fake. MGTOW is nothing but a joke. It won't change a damn thing, because you think you can be MGTOW and you can go out there and jump through all the hoops and do wrong under another female, and your justification will be that females have wronged you or wronged another man, so you're going to go do wrong onto her. So you will continue the division, just like the powers that be wanted you to do, through your ignorance and dumbness. Because this will never correct nothing. This will only keep the problem alive. That's all it will do. And the anger will stay there. The anger is going to be misplaced, and the anger is going to control you. You're going to be run by your emotions and your anger, and then you're going to talk about women are the ones that are emotional. Men are more blah blah blah. You know, you're going to say that men are not don't run on emotions. Okay, the women run on emotions and men run on logic. And when I look around me and I open my eyes, I see as many men running on emotions as I do women. Then they're wanting to call their emotions and their anger logic. Well, then that means the female's emotions and anger is logic as well. You know, no, it don't. Yes, it does. Why is it different? Oh, it's because it's a her? No, because we don't run on our emotions. Then all you got to do is pay attention to the anger in the manosphere, and you clearly see they're running on their emotions. Because anger is an emotion. uh, so is complete insanity, just like truth. You know, everybody don't want to be lied to, but nobody wants to hear the truth neither. When you tell them the truth, you're going to get slaughtered. You're going to get attacked. You're going to get called names because they didn't want to hear the truth. They only wanted to hear the deception, the lie. They want to hear what they want to hear, and they expect the truth to be what they want to hear. And if it's not what they want to hear, then they get mad. So, you know, go figure. This is misplaced anger once again. Misplaced deception. I mean, everything's just upside down on his head. I talked about our cashless society that's coming our direction. I've known about it for years, but now that it's actually been rolled out and implemented, and it's happening across seas, well, they have communities that are literally gone cashless and the banks have closed down. Don't worry. Now that it's been implemented under your nose, it's only a matter of time before it moves to America. And you find your banks closing down. And if you think things are bad now, you just wait till they take your cash away from you. You know, I would agree with off the grid by living off the grid. I think that would be a smart idea, but I think you better be armed and there better be a whole bunch of you because the people at the top ain't going to want you to live off the grid. They're going to claim that land that you're on is theirs. You know, and I look at that and I laugh because the land on this planet has been here longer than any of us that are alive on this earth right now has been here. And some idiot that grew up and got a position in a political position is claiming land theirs that they never owned, they never had anything to do with, they didn't work and pay for or anything, and they're claiming it theirs. And then they're going to get their perfect little order followers called the militaries, the patsies, the suckers who went into the military, and they're going to arm them and send them over to your land, like Waco, Texas. So you'll have another Ruby Ridge or another Waco because of the fact that you went off the grid and didn't count on their tool. And you learned to survive off the land. And you didn't need money because you found your happiness don't come from money. Because happiness don't come from money. You cannot buy happiness. This is why I like Steve Hoker's rant on money. Okay? Even though he was talking different points, he was correct. Money will not buy happiness. Living off the grid would be the smartest thing to do. So I do like off the grid, you know, the name. Because if you lived off the grid, I think that'd be the smartest thing for us to do. Because you're stepping away from all the control mechanisms that is controlling your life. You're learning how to survive off that land. So you're going to get your food from off that land. You're going to get your water from off that land. You're going to build your shelter from off that land. And you're going to learn what it takes to survive without being a slave wage. Without going to work for freaking some company, somebody else is getting rich and making them rich. You're learning how to survive off that land and you're taking yourself off the grid. So now You're not counting on somebody else to feed you electricity. You're not counting on somebody else to give you. You are doing it on your own. I think that's probably the best idea for people, but at the same time, it's a very dangerous idea. And why is it a dangerous idea? Because the powers that be, you'll end up becoming the next Ruby Ridge or the next Waco. Because the powers that be will find a way to try to claim what you have, that land is theirs. And try to say you're on their land, their property, and it was never their land, it was never their property. But they're criminals, they're psychopaths, and they're thieves. Which means it's going to turn into a bloody freaking battle of weapons and blah, blah, blah eventually because you went and lived off the grid. Because they want to control you to enslave you. It's like Pastor Dow done a video earlier I watched today where he was talking about the New York, I think it was mayor or whatever, made the statement that he owns, that we own the people's bodies. So this guy made the statement that he owns everybody's body in New York. And that if he wants to put vaccinations, regardless of what's in it, or whatever he wants to put in your body belongs to him, and he can do it, and you have no say-so. Now, you want to talk about arrogant and corruption right in your face? You can't get any more corrupt than that. And of course, my thought is, oh, you think so, huh? You think you own everybody's body and you got the right to put whatever in their body you want? Well, then maybe they own your body and they get to put what they want in your body. And maybe we'll fill your body full of lead as we shoot the living hell out of you. Now, I know that sounds totally sick and crazy, but what that guy said was as evil and sick and twisted as it gets. To literally think you own other humans' bodies. That is a psychopath through and through right in your face. This is exactly what power, greed leads to, is this type of mentality and corruption. It's sick. It's disgusting. And I'm like beside myself looking at this and how we just sit back and put up with it. Yeah, money is the real. If I had it, I wouldn't be a slaving. Yeah, well, money is not real. I'm going to give you a wake-up lesson off the grid. Anything that's ever been considered money is man-made. At one time, they used to use sticks and they carved notches in the sticks. And the notches equaled the currency. At one time, we traded with gold and silver. You want to know what your real money is? I'll tell you what your real money is. Shelter over your head, food, water, that's your real money. That's right. Because if you can live without food and water, and I'll guarantee you if we use food and water against you as a weapon, which has been done throughout history, that gold and silver that you hold will not buy you that food, nor that water. Because when millions of people can't access food and water and don't know how to grow it, don't know how to raise it, don't know how to butcher it, and don't know how to survive off that land, and you're counting on the Matrix, your grocery store, you're in trouble. Because they can remove the food off the shelves of your grocery store in a matter of a week and a half. All they got to do is stop the trucks from shipping it. And the people will panic and they'll clean them shelves off in a week and a half. Your grocery stores everywhere, all around you, will have no food in their stores. Give it another couple of weeks and people start getting hungry. Give it another couple of weeks at that, and people be killing and stealing and robbing each other for food. Now you tell me where that money is going to get you then. I don't care how much money you got and how much gold you got. They're not going to trade their food or water for that shit that they can't eat or drink. You will not survive without food or water. Man-made materials, money, man-made. Used as a tool, a weapon against us all. To control us. The matrix, the system you're living in, has dumbed you down whether you know it or not. And people don't realize this, how spoiled they are. Because they can go get a job and make some money and they can walk into any store and buy the food and the things they want. And they don't realize how valuable food and water really is. Because they get to buy all these different types of drinks. They get all this different food and selection to eat. Well, what happens if these criminals shut down the transportation of the United States and they don't reopen it for 6 months? Within a week and a half, your grocery stores will be out of groceries. There won't be no food coming to the stores, so they'll be gone. The convenience stores and grocery stores will be empty. Do you know how to live off the grid? Do you know how to grow your own food? Will you be able to grow a crop of food to save your life before you die from starvation? And what happens if you're like where I'm at in Minnesota, or you're in Iowa, you're in New York, and you're in the middle of the winter, and they shut down your transportation system? Guess what? You're going to be in more trouble than you ever thought you could be in. And that's really what that comes from. You'll be in more trouble than you ever thought you could be in. Because now you'll be in a situation where they've shut down the transportation systems. No food is coming to your stores. The store shelves are empty within a week and a half, 2 weeks, all around you for miles. It's wintertime. You can't even go plant, if you have food seed, the food to grow. You know, when I grew up as a child, my dad's mother, my grandma, she lived in an old house on a 1 acre little lot of land farm. And she spent all summer long working in her field, growing food and chopping trees down with an axe by hand and splitting wood. She would grow the food and she would can it. And she spent hours every day working, canning food and splitting wood and working in her big 1 acre garden. That's right. And bringing more food in as it was ready and canning it and canning it. Why'd she do that? Because when the winter months came, she had enough canned food to get her through the cold season and into the middle of summer. And by then she was replenishing it from growing again. Now you want to really think about that hard. Because if you're going to survive off the land and you're in a cold climate, that's exactly what you'd have to be doing. You would have to be working on collecting your food and canning it and preserving it and canning it and preserving it. So when the cold time came, you wouldn't starve to death. Okay, you'd have to have shelter over your head. You'd have to have way to have heat. And if you didn't have electricity, you'd be running on what? Lanterns or candles. At nighttime, you'd be heating your house through the wood that you split. You'd be cooking on a stove that was a old wooden stove like she had. that you threw the wood in and lit the fire, that heated the plates on top and heated the oven, and you had to put wood in and keep it hot, and that's what you cooked on? See, people don't realize how spoiled they are. They think with no logic when it comes to money, because money is the tool that has been used, and it has actually destroyed your ability to survive yourself. Now, I know that's off topic from anger men, as men anger is justified, because men's anger is justified in today's society. But the reality is, it's just like in the dating arena, the manosphere, people don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to treat one another. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't the first clue. That's why we're where we're at right now. And most people don't even know how to take care of themselves if it came to survival. They will die out. That's right, they will die from lack of knowledge. So, off the grid there, he's got a nice name, but the problem is would off the grid be able to live off the grid if necessary? I don't think there's many people who can. I think too many people are locked into the matrix. And I think that we have a great system if people would just stand up for themselves, if people would unite together and overturn corruption and go after the people that have done this to us. But you're not going to do that because your anger is misplaced. And that's really what it is. Your anger is totally misplaced. You complain and you tell me all day long that women run on emotions and men run on logic. And when I look around me for all you people who say that, and I really look and observe what's going on, I see that men run on logic, don't run on logic, but run on emotions. I see that women are running on emotions and men are running on emotions, and the men are lying and say they run with logic while women run with emotions, but men prove that they're running with their emotions by their actions, because they seem to forget that actions speak louder than words. And I hate to say that, but it's the damn truth. Actions speak louder than words. Always have and always will. Action speaks the truth, not the lie that falls out your mouth. What can I say? Then you get mad because I'd say the lie that falls out your mouth. Because if you live to your word, then your actions will show that what came out your mouth is exactly what you're doing. Now you become an honorable person, and I have respect for you. Because you not only are very honest, you live what you say. But most people don't do that, do they? And that's also, once again, not a gender issue. Though in the manosphere, you get the really good example of anger, 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 slamming each other, fighting with one another like a bunch of little children. Yeah, like a bunch of little children, failed to grow up, which has been one of the biggest epidemics we got in the face of this earth since the beginning of mankind, is their ability to grow the hell up. And if we could leave the manosphere and go over to the normies or the chads, you find out they're just as mentally fucked up as you are. They really are. They just somehow think they're better than you and above you because they're not part of the manosphere, see? Because it's too personal for them, and we don't like touching personal topics because we might get wounded. It's like the phony truther who gets wounded by truth. They're flying under the name, I'm a truther, yes sir, and they're over there speaking up against the corruption in law enforcement, government, whatever. And then it came to the manosphere, and it came to truth, and they got wounded by truth while they called themselves a truther. A real truther don't get wounded by truth. Only a fraudulent fake truther can be wounded by truth. Because they wasn't a truther to begin with. They were just a deceiver and a liar. Then they get mad at you for calling them out for their behavior. Because they know they were smarter than you, and you wasn't supposed to have the ability to see through that. You were supposed to be dumb. Now they're mad at you for not being as dumb as they pegged you out to be. Because they already knew they were above you. See, that's that mentality again. We live in a world full of this mentality of control freaks, and people think they're above somebody else based on a man-made possession. And in the manosphere, we have all of this anger, but we have a lot of very justified anger. The guy who actually loves the woman he's with, and she has so many options, she's tired of being with him, she just throws him away like a hamburger wrapper and moves on to her next option. Uses the family court system, no-fault divorce system to rape him of his children and his belongings. Uses that as weapons against him for the rest of his life to get her wants. Just like alimony. I don't believe in alimony at all. You know, somehow you magically owe her this much money per month for the rest of her life based on the fact that you have a penis. So there's lots of justified reasons for men to be angry. Because after all, men are hated in today's society, ain't they? They sure are. To be born a man is a crime. You're absolutely hated. You're hated by their men, and you're hated by women. And the women will say, I'm not a man hater. And then their actions will prove them wrong. Because their actions will prove that they are a man hater. Then they'll think that's just a double standard and we should just disregard that. But yet, if you acted the way they acted, they would be, oh, you'd be a woman hater. You'd be hated immediately because how dare you? But yet, when they do it, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Yep, I'm a female. I can do it. Go, girl, go. You know, there's your mentality, man. It's corruption right to the freaking tilt. You know, and when you're telling truth in today's society, you talk about these things, you get slammed. You know, I've been known for calling out men's wrongs and women's wrongs since I've been online. And every time I call out the man's wrongs, people have no problem with it. But when I call out a woman's wrongs, I'm a woman hater. I'm this, I'm that. And I'm not no woman hater. I'm not this, I'm not that. I hate corruption, and I don't recognize genders. Because wrong is wrong and right is right. Corruption is corruption. That's straight up across the board. And then they get mad at me for calling the corruption. You know, I said I would love to bring the manosphere together. The goal was by the end of 2019 to have the manosphere together. But I also said that I probably wouldn't be able to get it done. And so far, the people in the manosphere is proving that to be accurate. Not possible. Because there's too many frauds. Too many fakes. Too many liars. Too many people that are all about their own selfish selves. Too many people that don't understand because a woman's wronged you in our society. Women are wronging men all the time. It was through social engineering, and the women are victims too. Just remember the women were programmed to self-destruction mode. They destroy themselves, you, and their children, and don't even know they are. And men, well, they're just useless eaters and feeders, right? Men are nobodies. They're not even human. Women claim we give birth to the children. The children are 100% ours. The guy has no parental rights at all. She gets pregnant. You have no rights. You can't say, I want the kid if she wants to kill it and abort it. She gets to kill it and abort it. You can't say, I want it. And if you don't want the kid and she wants it, she still gets to have it, and you get butt raped and you have to pay for it. But don't worry, it's not your kid. It's only hers. Because somehow her name is Virgin Mary. She got pregnant without you. But when you check the DNA, oh my God, look, it's both of yours. Then she disregards that one point that it's yours too. Only long enough to use the courts to go after you. Look, it's he's the father. And strip you of money. It's that double standard again, guys. So, men are the most hated on this planet right now. I don't care what anybody says. When I look around me, I see it. Men are hated by men, and men are hated by women alike. It's sad. You want to bring the manosphere together. You want to bring the genders back together again. But it's like nobody wants that. They would rather see self-destruct mode. I literally think society is going to have to collapse. Fall down, go boom, boom. Before people are going to wake up. And of course, by then it'll be too late for most of you. And that's no lie. And it is literally because of our behaviors. So when I tell people, back up, self-check yourself, recognize right from wrong, and self-check yourself, and remove wrong behaviors, and treat everybody the way you want to be treated yourself, regardless of gender. And then I hear crickets. Why? Because you all know I'm right, and none of you want to do it. Because that means self-work, self-discipline. And I know I sound like a broken record saying this stuff over and over, but I honestly feel like sometimes that's what it's going to take, is to keep saying it over and over and over and over. And maybe someday some of you will go click in your head and realize what I'm telling you. And then take it seriously and real and try to actually do that. Because until we take this seriously and we apply it to being real and take it seriously and really want to do something about what's going on in society, then and only then can we make a change. But as long as it's all a game, a sport, an arena, a competition to one up somebody else, you've all lost. Because you're not the ones at the freaking top. You're not the ones pulling the strings. You're not the ones who created this problem. The ones at the top who created the problem control and run your monetary system, your tool, your money. Yeah. They control it. They run it. They own it. They also control your daddy, the people who's telling you what to do. Commonly known as the powers to be, the elite, or whatever you want to call them, okay? They literally are the ones in control of everything that you're counting on. Because we've allowed them to be in that position. because we won't stand together and rise up and just simply say no and take their power away from them and lock them screwballed, sick, twisted psychopaths up. We won't do that. Nope, nope. We will go to war and kill each other for them so that they can drink their caviar and point at you and say, look how stupid these people are. Look at that. They're killing each other for us. Look how dumb these people really are. This is why you're slaves. This is why you are cattle, you useless eaters and feeders. This is why the mayor of New York over there made the statement that he owns your bodies. That's right, he owns every human being's body in New York City, and they do not have the right to say no to a vaccination shot. And he will put whatever he damn well wants in your body because your body belongs to him, not you. And why is he getting by with that? Because you won't do nothing about it. Because you will say, yep, you're right, sir, and bend over for him. I can't do anything about it, so I just better go along. That is the mentality. I hate that mentality with a passion. That's how many cowards we actually have. We have cowards by the masses. We have stupid by the masses. Now I'll go to something my brother said that I like very well. The words are right. You can't fix stupid. That's right. There's no fix for stupid. Stupid has to fix stupid its stupid self. And stupid don't want to fix stupid because stupid sees nothing wrong with being stupid. That's sort of like MGTOW, isn't it? The stupid. The home of the stupid in the manosphere go by the name men going their own way. Who say it doesn't mean walking away from women, that it means walking their own path. That is the height of stupid. That is the height of stupidity. Okay, it really is. And there is no fixing stupid. Stupid has to first wake stupid self up to fix stupid self. And most people are content being stupid. I hate saying that, but they are. They have no problem with being stupid. They're perfectly content with being stupid. And as long as you're perfectly content with being stupid, you will go right on down the rabbit hole. These people are going to get by with what they're going to do to us because you will go down that rabbit hole. Because you literally will do nothing about it. See, the citizens of New York should be outraged, furiously angry, and they should be throwing their mayor out of office. Just because their mayor is dead serious when the mayor said, I own your bodies, and you will be vaccinated whether you like it or not. I own your body, and I'll put whatever I damn well want in your body. Because your body don't belong to you, it belongs to me. That right there should have been enough to get him thrown out of office. But he's not. You know why? Because I smell coward after coward after coward after coward after coward after coward. Oh, I know, I keep saying it. That's what we have going on all over our country. It's people with that same mentality. Coward after coward after coward after coward. Oh, you're not a coward if it comes to fighting a nobody. But you're a coward if it comes to fighting the people who've done this to us. You would rather attack your victim so that you can have some phony baloney ego power trip. It's just the corruption is across the board and the anger is out of control. And the proof is in the pudding. If you're angry during a fight and you start running out of your anger, you'll probably get your ass handed to you because you won't be thinking clearly, because you'll be thinking out of your emotions from your anger. While you're claiming that women run on emotions, I look around me and see men running on emotions just like women. So I see the hypocritical lie being told that men think with logic and women think with emotions. And then I watch what's really going on, and you see both genders thinking with emotions. You don't see anybody thinking with logic at all. And what few people are thinking with logic, you're slamming them, you're calling them names, you're attacking them. You may think I'm wrong in my statement, but I know I'm not because I've observed it and seen it with my own eyes over and over and over again. This is probably one of the reasons I'm so hated by so many of you, because I call it for what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not going to disguise it in brown sugar. I'm not going to worry about your feelers. If it hurts your feelers to hear the truth, I'm not worried about that. I just say it straight out as it is. Don't like it, oh well. But I want to come up here and do this little rant today. I think I'm about done with this rant. But the anger in the manosphere, yes, there's lots and lots of reasons for men to be angry. And I stand with you on your anger. What I don't stand with you on is your logic because you don't have any. I don't stand with you on the fact that you want to fight each other instead of using logic and looking for your real enemy. And the fact that the manosphere can't come together and work together shows how stupid people are to begin with. Is Bill here or is this a recording? No, Bill is here. This is not a recording. That is to Wolf Martin. I haven't left yet. But I seen him type that as Bill here or is this a recording? So unless they've done something to my live stream that I'm not aware of, because it says I'm live. Okay, there you go. At least I know it's still alive and something didn't happen to it that I'm unaware of. Because that could happen, being we have that many criminals out here that love playing games with people. But the reality is my goal was to try to bring the manosphere together by the end of 2019. I'm not even to the end of 2019, and I already see the epic failure it's going to be. I've already said that I probably won't be able to do it. And so far, the manosphere is proving that it'll never be done in a billion years because they're too stupid to do it. And I'm not trying to be an ass when I say you're too stupid to do it, but all you got to do is look around you. Open your eyes. So many men that ain't even MGTOW calling themselves MGTOW. So many of them that are TFLers in denial and won't own up to what they are because they're so afraid of fitting in. So many of them that won't even look for the root cause at all because they're too scared to. MGTOWers who say, I suspect that this came from the top. Our governments or something's behind what's going on here, and this is right in our MGTOW live stream. But the system's too big and we can't do anything about it. So therefore, we just better do this in silence. Yep, that's what a coward says. Yep, exactly. Coward City. It's like asking me to have a debate with Turd Flinging Monkey. He is an agent. He's not going to debate me with truth because he don't want truth. He has to push the agenda that his bosses are telling him to push. That's where he's making his income from. The tool. He's controlled by the tool. I've told people before, and I don't care if you want to hear it or not, turd flinging monkey is mocking you right in your face. He told you who he was. All you got to do is read his name in reverse. All you got to do is pay attention to the shit that he talks about and what he pushes. Sure, he's a good salesman too. He's going to sell on to you that he's just like you or I, and he's not an agent, but he is. He has to be so he can keep the agenda going. So I said before, turd flinging monkey is a man. That's what monkey stands for. Flinging. And the turd stands for bullshit, for propaganda, for lies. He told you what he was doing, told you who he was, and most of you can't see through him at all. It's like the Asian thing going on and people crossing the border. And old Trump, need a wall. Okay? All socially engineered. I mean, we got George Soros screams out right there. It really does. That has been engineered. That is a George Soros trait to destabilize societies. These people ain't just running from the country to come to America for a greater living. These people have been paid money to come here to destabilize the society. Yeah. Thank you, George. And most of you aren't able to see that as well. I don't know what to tell you, man. I tell you the stone cold truth right in your face, whether you like it or not. I would love to bring the genders back together again and the manosphere together, and I would love for us all to rise up against these criminal screwballs that have screwed over our life so tremendously and take them out of power and take back all the shit they stole from us and make this world a better place for all of us. But nobody wants that. Everybody likes their misery. Everybody likes keeping company with misery and corruption. Everybody wants to be somebody else's boss and tell somebody else what to think, how to feel, and how to act, but don't want to be told that themselves. It's pathetic, it's sad, it's sick, and the manosphere will never come together because the majority of the manosphere is fraudulent fakes. MGTOW is absolutely loaded full of TFLers in denial and dumb fucks in denial. Stupid. Stupid people. It's loaded with stupid. Because I'm a man going my own way, I just changed that around to I'm a man taking my own path. I can do whatever I want. I can go out and dump all over a woman because the women are dumping on us. That's right. So I'm going to dump on her mentality, the child mentality, you know, that 3-year-old mentality. The 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old that are squabbling and fighting over the toy. She done me wrong, so I can do her wrong. And then wonder why we can't ever come back together again to solve anything. Just like the women in their friend zone, rejecting men and putting them in the friend zone. They can't figure out why relationships ain't working out. And men out there saying, can men and women just be friends? The foundation of a relationship has been turned into, can women and men be friends? Nope, not possible. You hear so many guys say that. So the foundation to a successful relationship, nope, we don't want a foundation. We like building our relationships on quicksand, on the side of a mountain with a 90-degree drop. Can't figure out why House didn't stand up and collapse right away. Don't understand why. Don't know what's going on there. So I said, too many people don't even know what the hell they're doing, man. They go with all the programming that's destroyed us all. And they're not looking for the real enemy at the top who's done all this to us. I guess there's no more I can say. I'm out of here for the day, and you'll have a good one.